I think you're still recording. You're still connecting to audio. Okay, oh, you're muted. You're muted. Check your settings. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, can I go on the bigger screen?
I don't know. Let's just use this. It's going to take a lot of time.
I start from arrival to the United States, okay? July 13th, 1970, I arrived JFK Airport from Amsterdam on KLM Airlines, period. It was around after the sunset that the plane arrived. And after going through the customs, simple, it was very simple at that time. I got my visa on the airport. That was a J1 visa, which is basically you come as a trainee. And then we didn't know anything about it. And so as we were supposed to go to Philadelphia, found out we have to take a American Airlines, and coming from a small place like Dhaka, which had only population of 200,000 in 1947 and 2 million when I left. Everything was on one small airport. People could come on the tarmac. And this was a big place. So we didn't know where to go. If you ask somebody, he said, that's another terminal. So we came out of the...
Who's the other person? You say we. Who's the other person?
Yeah, Dr. Alim.
Okay, so you guys came together.
Yeah, Alim and we flew together from there. So came out and didn't know how to go there, so let's take the bus. So we asked the bus, to Americanize. So yes, I asked how much. He said, he looked at me because it was shuttle. I was new, so he said a quarter. We looked at each other, we didn't know what quarter was. And then he said, come inside. Then we flew to, then he took it and dropped the American Airlines. And from the American Airlines, when we flew over Philadelphia, it was just, when we saw from the plane, it was just light all over the place. Now, coming from a place where you hardly see any light, it was just a revelation that how bright the world looked, because the plane didn't fly very, very high, because the Philadelphia is not that far, and then the plane at that time didn't fly that high to go that much. And we arrived Philadelphia around 9 or 10 o'clock, and then we thought, what should we do? So maybe we should call the chief, the head.
Yeah, that's great. Wait, did you have an apartment already when you came, or no?
No. Listen, so as we came out, we saw somebody who looked, to me, he looked Chinese, but he was Filipino. Later on found out. He came that I am Dr. Lopez. I'm the chief resident. I've come to pick you guys up. I said, oh, great. So we got in there. He took us to the hospital. On the back door, he took us on the 4th floor and found at the 4th floor there are 7, 8, 10 rooms that were for the residence quarter for the night call. And he said, meanwhile, we will stay here till we find a place to live. And so we went there and we slept next morning when we got up, and there was one big bathroom and like that. And when we went there, we were shock of our life. There were 7 or 8 residents totally nude. They were taking shower. That it never happened to me. It can happen anything like that. So Alim had his lungi. Lungi is like a, and so one Korean resident may started, oh, Dr. Alim wears a skirt.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a skirt. It's called lungi. Anyway, so we went to the downstairs, had necessary things were that and done, and we got our that we will start working the next day. And the first 2 weeks we were not there, so we said take it out from our leave, because we're supposed to get two weeks a year, so we'll not take a leave. So we got our paycheck without working 2 weeks. Because yeah. So So,
Most
so
people come to America to work, and you just came and got your pay, and you didn't even
I
work.
got a paycheck. It was of about $365, a 2 weeks paycheck. I got.
Wait, how
And
much is that worth today?
if 1970 to now, if you today the residents get around $70,000 a year. Mine was 8,400.
Okay.
So the, it is how many? 9 times more these days.
9 times. Well, I'll look at the inflation
No,
calculator.
yeah, but there are a lot of other factors, that why the salary is 70,000 these days. Anyway, then so then we there and we found out that we can eat as much as we want free in the hospital. So since we had
Wait, so you just came and like lived at a hospital? Like you came and you got like a free bed and free
yeah,
food and free money?
it was supposed to be when we were on call or in the hospital, we could eat.
Yes.
Since we are living in the hospital, and we then so I was in America, so I said maybe I will just have a tie and jacket and everything to see what it looks like. The hospital was in the area called South Broad Street. It was 1900 South Broad Street.
Okay. Is it
Yes,
still there?
yeah, still there, but it's changed now. The area was called Little Italy. There was big Italian people lived there, and many of them were first generation, some were second generation, because this was 1970, and so and attendings were most of them were Italian. So I came out, and on a weekend we arrived there on Monday, and after working, so we go out to see, and I buy my suit and everything, tie and everything, and it was July the 18th, hot like hell. So I went out for window shopping, and saw that everybody had a half pant or no shirt, like walking around. I said, my
Yeah.
God. I thought it was unlike British. British hardly come out that way at that time. At that time, at least. Anyway, we went there, and then we saw also that there was a small park type, and the old Italian people had a small, like a what is that? The bowling ball thing. They will roll on the ground because they call bauchi. That game
Oh
was
yeah,
known.
yeah. People still play that sometimes. So
Yeah.
older people.
So some older people the Italian guys were playing that bauchi. And yeah, so then we said, oh, well, we have to find a place to stay. So then we found out that somebody said there was a apartment. So we called him, and he came. There was, I think his name was Mr. Borelli, and he had a handwritten. I still have that handwritten contract that we can stay here, and it will cost us $84 a month.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so $84 a month, which Alim and I split it yeah, per month. And then we needed a telephone, so we called the bell, and we got the telephone, brought the one, and that was called party line. That means there were two people on the same line. So if I try to call somebody, then and find the other person is talking, I couldn't do anything. But they're very polite. They only use it only when they wanted to use it. So then, in Philadelphia, we wanted to see the city. From our hospital was on Broad Street. You could see straight north, and there was City Hall right in the middle. In the middle, and so sometimes we walked up to that. Then we walked also the south side. We went to the naval area. There's stadium, and then we said, okay. Then we used to, at that time, since there were no communication, the only communication was letter, and letter was written on a thing called aerogram.
Oh, I
And
remember. They were blue.
yeah, blue one, and come from aerogram, and we utilized every corner of the aerogram to write it. And at that time, the local postage was 6 cents, and aerogram was 13 cents to go to Pakistan. That yeah. So I said I got to get an anagram. So we went it was on the 10th Street, the post office, but not far because we were on the 14th Street, and that was in Washington, so not
Mhm.
far. And we went there. We passed through the Italian market,
Mhm.
and later on found out it's the same market where Rocky Balboa was running
Yeah.
that market. So
Yeah.
so when we went in the market, we saw they were selling chicken, and one of the chicken rooster was so big that I never in my life. It was almost like a threatening people. When you walked, it made sound like that. And then we started going to see what the Philadelphia looked like. So west side of Philadelphia was a nice VA, and there, and we went there, and then we went to the museum. And we went on the stairs, the same stairs that the Rocky Balboa used
Mm.
to run down. And
That was
we
1976, though. Rockies was
I
1976.
know, but this was 1970. We found out
Yeah.
later it is the same steps. Okay, so when we came to the hospital, so we didn't know we never learned how to cook, and
Mhm.
we didn't know where to find the masala. So there was a Pakistani person, Dr. Arshad Akram Chaudhry. He's still in San Francisco now. So he was the only one, and he was married, and he had a little girl. Maybe it was 3 months old at that time. Because we attended the first birthday in the following year. Yeah. So he would invite us, and we'll go there and have dinner. Then we tried to cook one day, and we just cook the rice and boil the egg
Mhm.
and ate with that. Then we found out where you can find the masala went there, but still we didn't learn. Then our cousin Husamuddin Shahla, who was
Mhm.
married 6 months before I was married,
Uh-huh.
she and she had come to Canada, and they were going on a vacation. So
Mhm.
they said they came and stopped by at our house, and we offered them to stay there. And she taught us how to make the bhujia, the
Oh,
potato and the masala like that. So I
very good.
learned that. So that was our thing to eat there. And we sometimes we go to them, and sometimes we eat Chinese food. There was a Chinese store, Woolworth and Chinese store in front of the hospital. So
Mm.
like that. And then we started, my God, we are here, so we have to go to see New York. We went to the secretary,
Mhm.
I forgot the name right now, and he said about New York. Why would you go there? I said, why is New York? But she was 32-year-old at that time. So I never went to New York. I said, never in real life. No, I don't need to go to New York. Everything is here. So what should I go? Anyway, we went to New York because we had 2 or 3 friends there.
Mhm.
And we went to visit that, and we visited New York from Philadelphia 9 times in that year.
Oh, wow.
And it cost us only $10 return.
Wow. So you spent $90.
So we on Friday night that we were off, we will just go there and come back at Sunday night by bus. The bus we used was the Trailways.
Oh, yeah. It's still there.
Yeah, it's there. So we use
Get
that
a
because
pantry open.
easy to go there. You go to Broad Street, and there was the left side was there, so it was easy. So we went 9. So first time when we went there, 10 o'clock, they said, let's go and see 42nd Street. I said, what is that? So then it's a daytime. So we went there, and oh my God, all these cinemas and everything were lighted here. It was like a daytime.
Yeah.
All a lot of business going on. So anyway, that was our first, and then we stayed and talked and talked there. Nothing much happened at that time, and so we got used to going to New York, and go to subway a little bit and seeing the Philadelphia.
Mm.
So when he signed it, we moved the place, and that was that 1535 Morris Avenue.
That was, where would you live first? Where was
That
your
is the
first
one.
apartment? That was the one. So
That
wait,
was
so
the
you
one.
moved from the hospital to 1535 Morris Avenue.
Right. That was about 2 blocks from
Two blocks. Okay.
from the from the hospital, and that was uneventful. But the year, So when we came, so few things happened. First of all, my experience was that they told me I was covering such a doctor, and even at
Mhm,
that time they had a small machine, and I put the code number of the doctor and printed all the patient's name. That
mhm.
was very unusual. Even now I realize that 1970 they were far ahead of that. It was like a computer thing, they just
Yeah.
said number and it print the names. It's St Agnes Hospital. The other thing that they showed me that when there was a machine that could do 64 tests in one time.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, on 64, yeah, 64 tests and 16 tests of each patient. That they called it at that time um, SMA 16.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what SMA stood for, but anyway, that was little
All right.
very.
So I'm gonna take it back a minute. Where did you get your first furniture from?
There was no for when we moved there, the person who lived before had left the bed, you know, and
Okay.
and and there was um, for a fridge refrigerator already there, so we
Mhm.
only changed the sheets or we got the
Okay.
sheet.
How
We
many
put the,
bedrooms was there?
there were two bedrooms.
Okay, and there were two beds?
There were two beds, two
And
beds, two bedroom, and nothing
mhm.
else. There was no living area or sorry, it was just a two bedroom for students type of
Okay,
thing.
all right. So there was no living area? There was just a
No, no,
fridge?
no, no. There was a small kitchen where
Uh-huh.
there was a fridge and a stove. We never
Can you
used.
draw the can you draw the floor plan later?
Yeah, I could. I have an idea how it was. So
And what was your view in from the window? What did you see?
no view. What view?
But you, you looked at what the wall of the other
We, we,
place?
we, we just come and slept. I don't even know.
Did
There
you
was
have a
view.
window?
We never opened it. It was there.
Okay. I was about to say, maybe they just rented you two closets and told you it was an apartment.
You,
I mean,
you, you have the you have the picture
oh yeah,
of
I
that.
have a video. I have videos
Yeah,
of the, yeah.
that window was never opened by anybody.
Oh, so you faced the front. You faced the front.
Yeah, that's right. I faced the front. And more, we hardly ever use that apartment except come to sleep.
Well,
And on the weekend, go somewhere. Yeah. Uh,
that's so
yeah.
after you learned bujia, what was the next thing you learned to cook, or did you learn
Okay.
anything?
Yeah, there was nothing much else there. Then then there was a birthday in, later on,
Whose
and
birthday?
that I told you that our friend's daughter birthday.
Oh, the daughter, the baby's
Yeah,
birthday, who's now 51
yeah, she should be
or
51,
52.
right? And Nadish knows her.
Oh, really?
I forget the name. I'll get the name. So we visited them several times, and then in
Where did he live?
September. Huh?
Where did he live at the time?
Oh, he lived just the next street, Tasker. That
Oh,
we,
okay. So Tasker Morris.
yeah, that's right. So that we were Morris Avenue, and next was the Tasker.
Yeah, and the subway there is called Tasker Morris.
That's right. That is this subway, and
I have there too. I
huh?
have a video. I have the video of the subway too. The subway sign.
Okay, yeah,
We're gonna
Tasker.
make a little movie. We're gonna make a little movie from this.
Yes, actually, we got from there, and then we found out later that we were really we were like a bonded labor.
Mm,
We were
yeah, indentured
physicians,
servants.
we were
Indentured.
physicians, but I think they got us for a cheap labor. So
No, of
we
course they did. Of course they
so
did.
so we did patient will do we did only history and physical, and they can come anytime. At that time, what they come. They have a vacation on Sunday night. They come and say, "Why are you here for history?" Oh, my doctor told to come here. He's going to check me out. So okay, so hardly any complaint. So Blue Cross Blue Shield were paying, and the doctors were admitting, and like that. So they would come anytime. So we were doing a lot of history and physical. Not much education was there. You just go around with them, and you do history, physical. You try to learn yourself from the and there was some some meeting where it was not. So first of the one patient that I examined in the beginning, and when I took the history, he had almost 13 illnesses.
How did he have 13 anuses?
Yeah, well, there's so many operation, hypertension, diabetes. So there are 13 ailments. diagnosed.
Ailments,
Yeah.
not anuses.
Yeah, well, past history included a lot of surgeries.
Do you know what an anus is?
Huh?
You said this guy had 13 anuses.
No, illness. Well,
Illness, 13 illnesses. Okay.
13 diagnoses, but the reason is that is because I wrote back, because in when we come from, people die after the first or second illness. If they're in condition, nobody literally have a gallbladder out, appendix out, tonsil out, this out, that out. They had, even at that time, they're pretty advanced. So these people. Then we had attendings. One attending was very good, Dr. Bernard Siegel. He died recently, and he gave us good education. We went around him, liked him. He was educated. He was also went to England to learn the cardiology. We had few colleagues, say, at that time. Some of their there was one colleague who was named Dr. O, and he was married with his daughter, and he was an OBGYN in Korea before.
Okay, so his last name was OH, not initial O, Dr. O.
Yeah, OH. Yeah. Then one other guy, Dr. Cho, he didn't speak any English.
Okay.
He didn't speak any English. He wouldn't say anything. Later on, he became psychiatrist. Probably he just had to listen. He didn't have to say anything. So one time, something happened to his car or something like that. Police get ticket, and all day he sat down and tried to write a letter to the police. He was writing in his English. So the poor guy, and then we got a resident from Japan.
Okay.
Dr. Kawai, and he was already established cardiologist there, but he came to America. So there was a new machine at that time was invented called echocardiogram.
EKG. Yeah.
No, not EKG. It's echocardiogram.
Okay, hold on. Echocardiogram is called EKG because it was from Germany and they spelled it with a K.
EKG is electrocardiogram.
Right. Electrocardiogram. And what was yours?
It is echocardiogram.
Echo. Okay, ECG.
No, it's just ECHO, echo.
Okay, echo.
Yeah, because the wave rebounds, comes back, and that is
okay. I see what you mean. So what was the course of the months these people came? Oh, don't answer a phone while I'm talking to you. All right. So what was the these folks who were coming, when did they come? Like every month or what? Well, I'm gonna turn off if you're gonna answer a phone. What's this music?
Okay. Yeah, so it was very. So that is why he got the position there. Can you hear me?
It's very faint. Why did that happen? What was that music?
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just very faint now.
Okay, let me see how.
That's better. That's better. Okay.
That's better?
So
okay.
All these people, when did they come? You came July 1970. When did the other folks that you mentioned, Dr. O, Dr. Cho?
They started in July. I was 2 weeks late. But the Japanese guy, they got residency because they bought a machine for him.
Okay.
So he'll be on call at night, and he will go like a tray. He will run around to patient's room, and he will do the echocardiogram. They were fascinating because it was a very new machine, and it's not like the today's echocardiogram is just a simple graph.
Okay, what was the name of this hospital too?
St Agnes Hospital.
Okay, St. Agnes.
Yeah.
All right, and so this was your cohort. You guys came late, but you were all meant to be the same class.
Yeah. Kawai came a little late. Then one machine I saw that whatever you put in the paper, it just copies right away. They
Like Xerox.
it was called Xerox,
Right.
So it was so fascinating that I took some letters that people wrote, I put in the machine, I had to get a copy of the letters.
Oh my God. Yeah. Xerox is a Greek word for copy.
Eh?
Xerox is Greek for copying.
Okay, yeah. So it was very fascinating because when we applied for America, so all our certificate, I had to take a photograph of that, take it to the photographer, he would print a lot of copies, like photograph, then I'll mail that. So that was very tedious process and expensive. So this was something you could just, just, just print it. Anyway, so so the hospital was uneventful, and then there was something. The hospital has a pager system,
Mhm.
and this was depending on who the operator was. It could be very, you know, harsh voice, and it said, "Doctor Huq," such and such, because there was no other way.
Mhm.
Or you give them their telephone number in the room at night, so the pages are less. Otherwise, they'll page all night
Mhm.
everywhere. And then there was something called Code Blue. Sorry,
Yeah.
Code 99. Code 99, which is same thing as a lot of places have Code Blue. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. So when the Code 99
Emergency.
was announced, I thought I don't have to go. So in one of them, I didn't go, and I was really got a hearing from the cardiologist that I'm supposed to go there. The other thing that happened that when I went there, we don't get trained well in Pakistan. We didn't know how to even I had learned how to give the IV or give a. So when I went there, then they say I have to start an IV. So I said, okay, where is this? I thought you get needle. No, this is something called butterfly or something like yeah.
Oh,
I said,
butterfly.
yes. They said, what size? I said, what size? Oh, we have 21, 19, 23.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we got the then there was a plastic catheter you put
Mhm.
in. So that was a strange thing. So we learned. Then slowly we became much more yeah. Uh, so in Philadelphia, actually, we just passed one year, and
Mhm.
then I went for an interview. I
Mhm.
first went to I first went to the Bridgeport Hospital for interview. It was a bad interview because I had not learned anything here. So
Mhm.
then
Where's Bridgeport? Where's
yeah,
Bridgeport?
Bridgeport,
Connecticut?
Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst place in the world. Or
Yeah.
that's not.
Anyway, Dr. Alim went there after we finished. He got a residency in surgery in
Uh-huh.
Bridgeport, and then I got in New Jersey College of Medicine, which was known as Martland at that time. Yeah.
Markland.
Martland, Martland. There was a Mr. Martland on his name. It was a
Oh.
13-story tall building. It was in the ghetto area, one of the most crime area, because I realized when first time I went and I didn't have any car, so I got the uh, train,
Uh-huh.
and I took the bus, and when the bus passed, all the buildings were burned down, and
Oh, is this Newark?
it was Newark, and it was after the 68 year riot. So
Yeah.
in 71, still the buildings were burned and all those things. We found out there was the most dangerous area to, 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 to come. So that's where I got my residency. So I had a problem now. Oh, while I was in Philadelphia, so we heard that there is an Indian program comes even in 1970 once a
Mhm.
week for half an hour music. So we found out, learned it. So I wanted to buy a stereo system. So I had my friend Dr. Cho. He took me to the place, and
Mhm.
then we got a small stereo, brought it there. That was our thing. And then also one thing before that I didn't know driving. So
Oh yeah. Mhm.
so I went there and I got my learning license, but I didn't
Mhm.
have any car, and
Right.
there was no driving license. So we talked to Dr. Cho because it was 3 months. You have to do it in 3 months. So we asked him. He said, "No, it's very easy. They asked you just get turn and this and that." So I had some driving experience in Pakistan. You know, so I said, okay. So he said, okay. One day he took me the place and he just have a little bit driving, what is a
Mhm.
cater. And next day I went there and I just give the exam. So he asked some 10 questions. They do the cater and I got my license.
Oh my
And
God. Do you still have your
yes,
first license somewhere? No.
no. So that's how I got in license
Uh-huh.
in Philadelphia. So with that license I came, and so I moved everything to my friend who was living in near the Flatbush Avenue. First,
Mhm.
stayed there for 2 weeks. I used to go on a subway to Port Authority. From there, take a train to Newark. The early morning, 5 o'clock, I'll get up and I'll go there. And I had applied for a apartment in a place. They told us the place called Ivy Hill, where everybody stays. That's all right. So that was very difficult part of going and then carrying all my things there. But the good thing was in New York, near the bus station, I mean, a lot of shops, you had pizza and all these things that
Mhm.
that I could eat. So anyway, so there I applied for the um, uh, yeah, apartment. So I got this apartment 10K in and 35 Manor Drive,
Mhm.
10K, and the rent was $143.
Oh, that's quite a lot from what you were spending. Who's this friend on
No,
Flatbush Avenue?
no, but my
Wait, wait,
my
no, take that. Who's the friend on Flatbush Avenue?
Nisar Qureshi, and he just died of COVID 2 years ago. His son is the first Muslim magistrate in New Jersey now.
Okay, that's good. All right, Abu, so that's 35 minutes worth. So I'm gonna type all this up, okay?
Okay, so I
So
will leave it here because the first day is end here.